Hello, everybody. Welcome back to my channel. My name is Stephanie Bree. I am a transgender woman. This is my vlog. I just talk about random stuff, and today I am going to be sharing my pagan faith and what I practice and what I believe. So, my beliefs are very complicated because I was raised. I started out as I was into witchcraft. I didn't really have a religion. I was just a witch. Um, I identified as a witch. And then I got into necromancy for a little bit. And then I became a Christian. I started out as a Baptist. And then I became a Catholic. And then I left the Catholic Church and I went to an Anglican church. And then I left the Anglican church. And then I became pagan. So I have a history with different different religions. Excuse me. So my views and beliefs are kind of complicated. But I don't want to talk about everything I believe in because that would take all day. I just want to go over the basics of what I practice and share what it is that is important to me in my practice. So I have a couple of amulets I want to show off. If I can get them. This first one here is the crux of my religion. It's a 12-pointed star. And it's got rocks in it, shiny rocks. I don't know what kind of rocks they are, but it's pretty cool. Each point of the star represents a different spiritual being. 10 of them are female goddesses. One of them is my spirit animal, the black bear. And one of them represents Joshua. Joshua is known in Christian circles as Jesus. So here's my other amulet. I'm not going to list all 12 of my goddesses or deities. This is the black bear. My girlfriend got me this for Christmas last year, and I love it. It protects me. I am Irish pagan, and Irish paganism does have spirit animals in it, so don't come at me with appropriation, because it's not appropriation. We had spirit animals before Europeans came to North America. Okay? So let's just get that out of the way. Because I have to explain that to people, because sometimes I get accused of appropriation. And it's not in this case. So it's not we don't technically call them spirit animals, but I use that terminology because people understand what a spirit animal is. So it's just easier to explain. I'm not going to list all my goddesses, but I'm going to hit the bullet points. I specifically am a nature goddess. Nature witch. I'm not a goddess. I'm a nature pagan, nature witch. And I'm a dark witch. So, some key elements. One of my goddesses, my primary goddess, is Brigid. She's a pagan she's a pagan goddess from the Irish tradition. The Tuatha Dé Danann. They were the first conquerors of the island of Ireland. And they were conquered by another group. Or they were at war with another group, and they made... I don't know if they lost the war, if they made peace, or they made a truce. But they ended up going underground and let the other group have the above ground. And that's where the Fae come from. The Tuatha Dé Danann went underground, and then they sort of... I don't want to say created the Fae or became the Fae, but they went underground, and where the Tuatha Dé Danann went, the Fae went or exist as well, if that makes sense. Brigid is one of the Tuatha Dé Danann. Her father, the Dagda, is the king of the Tuatha Dé Danann. So he's big. He's a big shot in their religion. And she watches over me. Goddess number 2 I wanted to point out is Estrella. I am a Virgo. I was born in September. And so I chose Estrella, or Estrella chose me, however you want to phrase it, because I'm a Virgo. And so I really connect with her more around the time of my birth than I do year round, because different goddesses have different seasons and different purposes. So you talk to them for different reasons at different times. So there's that. my third goddess that I want to talk about is Gaia. Like I said, I'm a nature witch, and I talk to the spirits in the trees, and I do talk to fae, fairies and brownies and leprechauns and other fae if I come across them. Um, but not just fae. I don't limit myself to the fae. And Gaia is the spirit of the earth, and she is the mother goddess of the planet. They have a mother goddess origin story in the Irish paganism, the Tuatha Dé Danann, but the mother goddess was lost to time, so they don't know if she was Gaia or if she died and the Tuatha Dé Danann came in her place, or if she reformed. It's a little fuzzy. It's not really known because the Christians destroyed all of their books and tried to erase their history. So there's a lot about the history we don't know. We just kind of have to guess. But I'm not exclusively pagan. Irish pagan. So I do respect a lot of Roman and Greek and Norse gods as well. And a few others, but I don't want to go down the list. Not all of them. The other one of importance to me is a real big one. Her name is Lilith. Lilith in the Judaic religions is the first wife of Adam before Eve. She wouldn't submit, and she was kicked out of the Garden of Eden. She went to hell and became a consort to Lucifer and became the mother of demons, specifically the succubus and the incubus, and the some other demons and vampires as well. She's the mother of vampires, and she is regarded as the quote-unquote queen of hell, although I don't really prescribe to the Christian or Jewish interpretation of her mythology. I think she is separate from them, but they co-opted her in a way, because I believe demons are misunderstood and are victims of Christo-fascist propaganda, and I don't think they're inherently evil like people think they are. I'm not afraid of demons. I have in the past had relationships with demons and talk to demons, and so I go through Lilith and ask her permission, and she will send one of her servants or one of her children, and I will communicate to them by way of her. So she keeps them at bay. I don't want to say Lilith is one of my primary deities, but she is one of the important ones. The other important one to me, there's two of them, and there's different schools of thought on the validity of one of them versus the other. I do revere Columbia as a separate goddess from Libertas, but I recognize them both as separate entities, and so I do pray to Columbia as well as Libertas or Lady Liberty. Some people say that they'll point to this guy in history who quote unquote made up Columbia, but it's not known if he just discovered her, or if if she came to him and said, here, she was a goddess that was unknown and she revealed herself to him. We don't know that because we weren't alive back then. So I still think she's real because she does respond to my prayers, certain prayers. So I will say that. So those are the big ones. And then as a witch, I also pray to Hecate. Some call her Hecate or Hecate, however you say her name. I say Hecate. That's just how I heard it first. And it sounds right to me and it looks right based on how it's spelled. So that works for me. Don't at me in the comments with you're saying it wrong because I've heard it 3 different ways. You can't convince me that your way is the correct way. Just like I say crown and others people say crayon or crayon, you're not going to tell me I can't say crown. When talking about Crayolas, they're crowns. That's just the way it is. So my practice is pretty simple. I do light candles and I do pray to the respective deity for different purposes at different times, different seasons, for different reasons. And then I also do practice witchcraft, mostly candle magic and mirror magic. And then I also do some tarot. I have two tarot decks. One for my personal readings, and then one for doing readings of other people if they want me to read their tarot. I'll read their tarot with that deck, and then I have a separate deck for my own purposes. And then I have done some scrying in the past, but I'm a novice when it comes to scrying. So I'm not an expert on it. I'm not super skilled in it. And then I have done some, we'll just say out of body experiences stuff. I don't remember what the word is right now, but I have had out of body experiences. So I've done some of that, meditation and levitation and stuff like that. So that's where I focus mostly. And I did recently put out a bottle of fresh water, spring water, and charged it up with the supermoon, the blue supermoon. So it is supercharged moon water. And I have every intention of using that in some rituals and some spells, but I'm not going to get into the specifics here because it's private. And I also have a canon of, because I'm also kind of like an American pagan, which is a smaller branch of paganism. It's harder to explain because it's like we do respect the native cultures and the spirits that were here already before Europeans got here, and so that's one of where the black bear comes into play. The black bear came to me. My spirit animal came to me in a dream more than once and called to me and built a relationship with me. So that's where that comes from. So I do respect the existence of things like the Wendigo and the Chupacabra and some of the other spirits of the land as an American pagan, but I also have. This is going to sound a little fishy to some people, but I do respect some of, not all of, but certain of the founding fathers of the United States as saints in a way, and certain queer folk in queer history. The most famous example is Marsha P. Johnson. She is one of my saints in my religion, and there are a few others, but she's the most famous one. If you don't know who she is, Google her. Read about her, learn about her, because you need to know who she is. And that's pretty much what I believe. That's all I have for today. Thank you. Stay cool.